I didn't come to therapy to be rescued. I came because I wanted a witness. By the fourth session, my therapist had figured that out. She stopped asking how I felt about things and started asking what I planned to do with them. Today she said, "What are you not saying yet?" So I told her. I didn't just end up with this life. I built it like a project. I studied the rules. I played the part. And I won. And now the version of me who won doesn't actually want the prize. That got her attention. Very small. But I saw it. I'm not confused. I am very clear. I know exactly who I became to get here. Polished, controlled, the woman who never makes a scene and always makes sense. Here's the part people won't like if I say it out loud. I don't miss who I used to be. I miss someone I never got to be. Silence. Not emotional silence. Evaluative silence. My life is impressive, which is a polite way of saying it has been curated. Nothing is accidental. Not the way I speak. Not the way I dress. Not the opinions I decide are safe enough to share. She asked, "Does it feel dishonest?" No, it feels accurate. It just isn't complete. The parts that didn't fit the picture were edited out, and now I'm trying to figure out if they're gone, or if they're just waiting for me to stop pretending I can live without them. And the thing I am most afraid to admit is this. If this life required me to be smaller to keep it intact, I agreed to the terms, freely. I signed the contract. She wrote something down. Then she said, "And now?" And now, I'm bored of being the safest version of myself. I know how to maintain this. The real question is whether I still want to. The clock sounded louder than it should have. I am not in crisis. I am in decision making. We let that sit. She asked, "Decision about what?" About which version of me is allowed to exist. The correct one or the real one. Yes, they are different. And the difference is getting harder to ignore. Most people rush to reassure you when you say things like that. They need you to be fine so they can relax. She didn't. She just said, "Say more." I think I optimized too well. I treated my life like a problem to be solved. Identify outcome, reverse engineer the process, execute. I became disciplined, pleasant, predictable. I removed friction wherever I saw it. And yes, it worked. That's the problem. It worked beautifully. No one warns you that if you sand down enough edges, you eventually erase the part that felt like you. Everyone just applauds how smooth everything looks. I used to think discomfort meant something was wrong. Now I'm starting to understand that sometimes discomfort is just your real self, refusing to disappear politely. I can feel it now, not panic, not collapse, just pressure from the inside. Like I've outgrown a role I auditioned for and got and played too convincingly. She asked, "What do you imagine would happen if you stopped playing it?" People would be surprised, some would be disappointed, a few would be relieved, and I would have to live with the fact that the version of me they loved most was the edited one. I'm not angry, I'm awake. Parts of me are waking back up, the ones I told to wait their turn. What do those parts want? To be included, not instead of the life I built, inside it. I want a life that doesn't require me to disappear to keep it running. She nodded once. Then she said one sentence, without changing her tone. "You don't need permission to include yourself." I nodded, but the sentence didn't leave. It followed me into the hallway, into the elevator, into the quiet, well-organized life I had built. By the time I reached the car, I realized something that didn't feel dramatic at all, just precise. I am not afraid of losing my life. I am afraid of never entering it. Hands on the steering wheel, engine off. One thought. If staying fine requires me to stay missing, then fine is no longer the goal. I didn't cry. I didn't unravel. I just decided one small, dangerous thing. I am going to start telling the truth. And I am not going to make it sound pretty. That's when the real story began.